everybody. I see Patrick pulled first blood this morning. All right. So, good news. Looks like Klaus Schwab has stepped down. So we're going to look at this article from the Daily Telegraph. Whew, there he is. Guys, and I'm going to show you the thumbnail again real quick. This is not a photo. Okay, so the thumbnail itself is a Photoshop, obviously, but this image, this picture here of Klaus Schwab is not a Photoshop, right? That's, in fact, let me see if I can. I'm going to pull up the original image real quick and show you guys. Like, this is actually from. This is from one of his addresses at the World Economic Forum. This is him, right? Like he unironically showed up in the Emperor Palpatine garb, right? This guy is. I mean, have you ever heard Klaus Schwab speak? Right, the man is a supervillain par excellence, right? Hey, Cindy, I see you there. Let me know when you get your Rumble account set up and follow the show so that we can get you that premium membership. I'd love to have you read in on that before we do the special Saturday evening. So let me know when you're on board. And me, Aaron, and AC, we're planning on taking care of you. And yeah, so we're looking forward to that. Let me know when you're set up so that we can try and get you taken care of for that. So Klaus Schwab has been the head of the World Economic Forum for 55 years, right? He's the original founder. And let's just, this guy, if
you will eat the bugs, you will live in the pot, you will wear the mask, you will get the vaccine, you will welcome the refugee, you will celebrate Pride Year, you will watch the Hollywood movies, you will celebrate diversity, you will watch the pornography, you will consume the product, don't ask questions, get excited for next product, you will not spread anti-Semitism, you will fight white people, you will put your kid on puberty blockers, you will send your daughter to Eurovic, you will have no privacy, you will own nothing. And you will be happy.
Like, that's not quite exactly what I was looking for, but man, did that just nail it, right? That's Klaus Schwab. That's yeah. I mean, we're talking about a guy who headed up the World Economic Forum, and this is basically the think tank, the globalist organization that's at the bleeding edge of the climate change hoax. We're talking about the guys that they've got their fingers in every little pot, and the idea is a one world government. They refer to themselves as the stakeholders. And hey, no doubt, make no mistake, these are wealthy, powerful men who have been successful in the ways that they've been successful. And one of the most terrifying things about people like Klaus Schwab, when the lefties make the argument, and make no mistake, this is their guy, or more correctly, they are his people. When the lefties make the argument about the evil billionaires and, well, it used to be the evil millionaires and billionaires, and then Bernie got his seventh house, and all of a sudden it's just the billionaires, right? And yeah, make no mistake, these guys have a whole lot of money. When the lefties talk about the evil billionaires, they think they're talking about Elon Musk. They think they're talking about Donald Trump. No. And when I say no, understand everything that they think is evil about Elon and Trump. These people prefer their billionaires to be evil, right? Klaus Schwab, his World Economic Forum, they're the brains behind things like I mentioned a minute ago, the climate change hoax, and I'll talk about that in just a minute, um, because I want you to start using that language more and more, and challenge people on that, right? Well, I'll get back to that in a minute. The climate change hoax, these are the same guys that are behind things like the Very Fine People hoax, the idea of the 15-minute city. These are your lockdown guys, your mask mandate guys, your vaccine mandates, right? These are the guys that head up groups that fund organizations like BlackRock. These are the guys behind buying up private property, homes, and turning them into rentals, and intentionally suppressing the supply of housing across the world, but most especially in America, and trying to force everybody to be renters, perpetual slaves, right? The whole "you will own nothing and you will be happy," you will eat the bugs and live in the pods. Uh, the world that is envisioned by guys like Klaus Schwab. Right. Yesterday we talked about the cities, and and often on this show we talk about the large, dense metropolitan areas. I mentioned yesterday Steven Crowder happens to have just released in the last few days a very good documentary about globalist cities. And I won't pretend to be able to do his presentation justice in a brief summary, but the general idea is that everything that they're trying to do on the global scale, they're rather successfully do or have been rather successfully doing on a very small scale by comparison. Now, make no mistake, when we talk about large cities, that is a large scale, but we're talking about these guys basically implementing their plans on a smaller scale so that they can build those individual bricks that they eventually connect together to make the larger problem, which is a singular totalitarian global governmental body, which is essentially divided into three tiers. Now we can talk about the obvious bifurcation, not between the rich and the poor, but between these Klaus Schwabs, George Soros, these kind of guys, who are not just the very, very rich, right? Mario and I covered this in more detail in our deep dive on the French Revolution when we talked about the three estates, right? So organizing thoughts, two. Okay, so we bring it back around to that. You've got the three estates, right? You've got the people, the clergy, and the nobility. In modernity, the people is obviously the taxpayer, the general citizenry, right? The nobility. Now we live in America, where in theory we do not have nobility, right? We don't have nobles in America. We don't have a monarchy or landed gentry. That's not how we do business in America, except it absolutely is. In a legal sense, it's not, but in an effective sense, it is. So the elected bodies at the federal level are essentially the new nobility. And I don't care left, right, Republican, Democrat, even Bernie Sanders, whatever the hell he's pretending to be today. They are nobility through by virtue of their connectedness, their power, their relationships, and their ability to control things. And then you have the clergy. And in modernity, in this context, the clergy is what has become. Aaron, actually, no. The actors, celebrity. We have a cult of celebrity. They are a part of that. They're part of that nobility class. Um, they they derive power and authority through connections and relationships, and being at a certain social level. They're contextually they're properly considered something akin to landed gentry because it is their wealth and their celebrity and their name recognition that makes them that makes them a part of that class, right? And then you've got the academy. Academia is the new clergy, right? And very much the way that Nietzsche suggested that if you kill God, then he will be replaced by something. Well, it's academia that has replaced him. Trust the science, they say. Trust the science. Faith. Faith is a thing which is placed in something that cannot be proved. Science is supposed to be something that is proved, right? The academy is that third estate, the clergy, right? Well, the first estate is the nobility, the second estate is the clergy, and the third estate is the people. And then, of course, you hear about the fourth estate is the press, and that trichotomy from the French Revolution is where we get that language from, and then we kind of wrap up the press into being the fourth estate. That's just that's essentially the fourth estate language as an entity an industry rather, attempting to sort of usurp an authority which was not legitimately earned or lent by grant of the consent of the governed. Now, you look at the Klaus Schwabs; they are that global nobility, right? These are the guys who are what they are by birthright, by attainder, by conquering, right? And these are the guys who were essentially working to establish uh, a tripartite global governing body. So the objective, what they want, what they're looking for, is a world where you've got that top wealthy 1%, as it were, and it's actually a much smaller number than 1%. They're looking for a group of people where you're talking about maybe a few thousand, maybe a few thousand at that topmost inner circle. And the rest of the world are essentially uh, a servant class. Just I don't care if you're a plumber, a doctor, a fry cook, a mechanic. If you're not one of the power brokers, then you're equal, right? The doctor, the lawyer are the same as the fry cook, etc. With the exception of the police. That's the middle tier, right? What they're looking for is a world where you've abolished any flavor of clergy and replaced it with law enforcement. Not with law, but with something with law enforcement. And what those law enforcement will be the nobility's enforcement, which is to say that the law itself in the World Economic Forum vision of a one world government, global economic uh, parity, the law is merely the will of that power broker category. So for the rest of us, the only way to get out of to rise above being just part of the milling milieu of essential service workers, right? Everything from fry cooks to doctors, all being the same, all being paid the same, all being treated the same, right? And there are so many problems with that idea. Like, hold up. If I get paid the same, no matter if I'm a doctor or a fry cook, then why am I going to incur $250,000 in debt to become a doctor? Oh, well, because you love it. Okay, there's a thought. And where am I going to get the education that allows me to be that doctor? Oh, well, in this, own nothing and be happy. It will be provided to you. I see. I see. So I'm going to get the government cheese flavor medical education. I'm I'm going to be a basic bitch with the free stuff, right? Let me tell you something, guys. There are good things that can be had for free. But sometimes you get what you pay for. Sometimes you get what you pay for. And do you honestly believe that what is given to us, that the scraps from the tables of people like Klaus Schwab, okay, they may be the scraps of the highest quality original material, but I like my steak hot, and I get to have my steak the way I like it because I leave the cave, I slay the mammoth, and I tend to the fire. When it's time to sit down and eat, I want something hot, dead, and made of cow. I don't want to pick somebody else's trash up off the floor and hope that it's enough. So with Klaus Schwab stepping down, I don't know quite what this is going to mean for the future of the World Economic Forum. I think it's interesting that he happened to step down at the same time that the anti-pope passes away. Klaus Schwab, the controversial founder and longtime chairman of the World Economic Forum, has officially stepped down after over 5 decades of steering the organization that came to symbolize elitist globalism. That is a bit of a misnomer. Came to symbolize elitist globalism. This guy has been at the head of the World Economic Forum for 55 years. It is. Oh, Bear. Bear, I'm sorry. You just completely derailed me. It says Ranger. Okay. Okay. It says Ranger. Damn, that full ass ammo can is heavy. Whew. Okay, Bear, you broke me. You damn broke me. That poster was designed for the 75th Ranger Regiment out of Fort. I think they were at Fort Gordon at the time, which is barely there now. And I happened to shoot one of the I think the guy was one of the sergeants major at that location, and his son did the poster design. And I shot the real estate photography for their house when they were moving. This was just a couple months ago, actually. That poster that I just got that poster about 2 or 3 months ago, maybe. You probably go if you want to go look at the back episodes of the show, you can see when the poster first appeared. But they saw a sticker on the back of my truck that says that oh no, they saw my disabled veteran license plate. They said, oh hey soldier, we got something for you. And I was like, oh man, I appreciate that, and I just had to put it up there. So yes, I was saying something. Yeah. So let me get back to that. Yeah, Barry, you broke me. And from now on, we're just going to pretend like that's why I put the pig in the way there. Trivia question for everybody: what does the pig symbolize in this contest? In this context, rather. If you know, you know, and if you've never humped the pig, you might have missed out on training. So, saying that it came to symbolize elitist globalism, no, it is elitist globalism. That is in fact what they do, right? A good example: the climate change hoax. This is what we mean when we say climate change hoax. Okay, I should do a whole breakdown on this as a separate show, but you'll hear people make reference to the climate change hoax, and you'll hear the lefties say, "Oh, they don't believe in climate change." Oh my God! Oh my God! That's kind of like the very fine people hoax. The very fine people hoax. They'll say, "Oh, you don't think he said very fine people?" No, he said very fine people. What he did not say is that Nazis are very fine people. And I don't care what your opinion of Nazis is in this particular context. The fact is, he did not say those words. Climate change hoax. Yes, climate change is a thing that happens. Right? We had dinosaurs, we had ice ages, there are tropics, there are arctics, shit gets cold, shit gets hot. Climate change is a thing that happens. And yes, it's a thing that happens in cycles. The hoax is that there's any science that hasn't already been proved to have been an absolute fabrication by corrupted academicians who were seeking additional grant money to craft a global narrative about anthropogenic climate change, which suggests that you can solve the problem of the climate increasing by less than 1 degree over the next 500 years through programs which require billions of dollars or trillions of dollars to starve us of protein, limit our travel capabilities, shut down our electric grid, destroy our fossil fuel economy, obliterate plastics, which, by the way, guys, there's a lot of plastic in your life. And I'm not even talking about the microplastics yet. The idea that there is a climate crisis that threatens to unmake our civilization, and therefore we need to spend all of the money about it, that's the hoax. Climate change is real. It's an actual thing, a legitimate phenomenon, which can be observed historically, scientifically over over millennia, anthropogenic climate change, which can be altered through the mere expenditure of stolen money, is a hoax. And it's one that's designed to impoverish and weaken you. And that's the kind of shit that the WEF guys get up to. So when I say that it's incorrect to say they symbolize elitist globalism, it is what they are. Right? A photograph of me, a video of me symbolizes Christopher Lowry. When we shake hands in person, that's who the fuck I am. I am not a symbol of myself. I am. Why do we criticize for promoting a top-down technocratic vision of world governance? Schwab uses WEF in its annual Davos meetings to cultivate influence among billionaires, politicians, and corporate power brokers, often at the expense of national sovereignty and democratic accountability. Right? These are also the guys that they run things like the Open Society. That's George Soros, but Schwab's into the same kind of shit. Basically, these are the big brains and big money behind standing up globalist non-governmental organizations to do things like run the invasion caravans, right? These are the guys that are, when you see illegal immigrants coming across the American border with smartphones that they can use a CBP app on so that they can pretend like there's some kind of a vetting process. Well, these criminals are getting their smartphone from somewhere. These poor, impoverished people who were starving because they're poor and impoverished suddenly show up with a $500 or $1,000 worth of smartphone that they can download the CBP app on. That money comes from somewhere. Well, it comes from people like Schwab, right? Either personally donated or collected through various philanthropic activities. That's who these people are. And it's all about tearing down liberty and prosperity anywhere that it happens to exist, to make you and me into slaves. So I'm glad to see him go. I don't know that it's going to substantially weaken or slow the World Economic Forum. We can hope. Excuse me. It looks like he's being replaced with this the CEO of Nestle. So Klaus Schwab's interim replacement. We're gonna listen to what he has to say real quick. What the hell? What's his name? Peter Brabeck Letmath. Boy, that's a hell of a name. So here's the interim WEF chief.
Hello, I'm Peter Brabeck, the chairman of Nestle. There are apparently some misconceptions about my ideas on water. Let me make it clear from the beginning. I have always supported the human right to water. Everyone should have enough clean, safe water to meet their fundamental daily needs. About 50 to 100 liters per day. But not to fill a pool or wash a car. There is a difference. We must transform the way we think about water. By 2025, 1.8 billion people will be living in regions without enough water. Water scarcity is the greatest challenge we face today. And we need to start recognizing water as a precious resource.
Wow. We need to start recognizing water as a precious. You don't have a right. You don't have a right to wash your car or fill up a pool. Water is a precious resource. Leave the cities, guys. Get the hell out. Get the hell out. Um, just, I mean, this, yep. I don't know what else to say there. Hey, God, yeah, you don't deserve water. Well, you get to have as much as you require. 100 liters per. What did he say? Did he say 100 liters per day? That's. Hang on. Did he say 100 liters per day?
Conceptions about my ideas on water. Let me make it clear from the beginning. I have always supported the human right to water. Everyone should have enough clean, safe water to meet their fundamental daily needs. About 50 to 100 liters per day. But not to fill a pool or wash a car. There is a difference. We must transform the way we think about it.
So about 25 gallons a day is what he said. He said you need about 25 gallons a day per person. That like, but you don't get to fill a pool or wash a car. Okay, so what if I want to just take five of my gallons per day and put it in the pool until the pool's full? I mean, no, you know what? Fuck you. I'm just gonna have a well. I've got a well. That's my water, and come and take it, please, please. Right? Come get me. Oh, and I hate to admit it, guys. I don't know all that much about the new guy, except I mean, really, what kind of a sociopath? He wants his private jet with hemp wipes. That's right, Bear. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about this guy. All we can do is hope that he fails to live up to Klaus Schwab's particular brand of control. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and put a pin in it there. I'm kind of running to the end of what I had to say about this topic anyway. Uh, and so yeah, so tomorrow is Firearms Friday, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow morning. We'll do some DGUs, drink some coffee, and until then, y'all, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I can't stress this enough: share, share, share. Right? We want more people watching. I don't care if you're on YouTube, Twitter, Rumble, Locals, Twitch, wherever you are, share the shit out of the show. The objective, sharing is caring, right? We want to grow the channel on every platform. But with the exception of Rumble, the point to growing the channel on every platform, except for Rumble, is to tell people to get the hell off of those platforms and go to Rumble. Most especially YouTube and Facebook, right? Get off of YouTube, get off of Facebook, come over to Rumble. I know. YouTube is still going to be your go-to for your DIYs, right? Still going to be your go-to for that. That's fine. But Rumble, for your news content, your political commentary, right? Great comedy like, what does the poster say, Lowry? Rumble. Get over here, get your premium account. Get that set up before Saturday evening, right? We're going to do one of our deep dives this Saturday evening, and you don't want to miss that. So tomorrow's Friday, Firearms Friday, DGUs and coffee in the morning. Thanks for watching today, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.